Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you can hear me. We're just waiting for a few more attendees to join us. At the moment, they're coming in thick and fast, popping up. So if we give it just a few more seconds before we start officially, it's not quite 2 o'clock yet. Okay? Okay, right. Okay, I think we're going to get started. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Paul Santa, Regional Director of CECA in the Southwest region, and I have some colleagues with me who you can see on screen at the moment who are going to give you a webinar presentation this afternoon. Now, in CECA Southwest, we have a foundations group which has been running for probably about 2 years now, and it comprises a growing band of enthusiastic men and women, engineers and technicians who bring a much younger perspective to CECA, which is a great thing. The group reaches out to schools, colleges and universities to promote civil engineering contracting as a future career option, but it does an awful lot more besides as well, and more of that to follow in the presentation. Now, 2 members of the foundation group who you can see on screen at the moment, Mike Wilcox of Dyer and Butler. Mike is currently working on a junction improvement scheme in Bracknell, so he's doing some missionary work for CECA Southern. We've let him out. We've let him loose from CECA Southwest for the time being, and he's working in Bracknell at the moment for Dyer and Butler on a highways improvement scheme. Mike is one of the presenters today, and also Finlay Craig of Griffiths. Now, Finlay is down in the depths of Cornwall, working on the A30 to St Austell Link Road scheme. Now, both active members of the foundations group, they recently got together with Paul Whitcomb of Harmonic. Now, Paul of Harmonic. Harmonic is a CECA Southwest associate member, I wanted to say, which specializes in project management support. And Paul is there as the 3rd member of the presentation team this afternoon. The 3 of them have developed this presentation, which is a first for a foundations group in any of the 8 CECA regions. So this is a world premiere, if you will, and you're all welcome. And talking of people welcome, we've got approaching 70 delegates who've registered to come on board this afternoon, which is a fantastic response to the foundations group's efforts putting on this webinar. And the delegates range from everybody from graduate engineers right up to managing directors and everybody in between. And you're all welcome, as I say. Now, the webinar will show you how to monitor and control your sites using some of the latest software tools available, but whilst working from home. So it's appropriate for now during COVID-19, but also post-coronavirus as we work remotely more and more. In essence, it's going to help you become a much more effective project manager. So please ask any questions during the webinar on the chat line, and the presenters will address them at the end of the presentation. Other than that, that's it from me for now. I'll hand over to Paul Whitcomb of Harmonic, who's going to explain more. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Paul. Today, we're going to talk about Microsoft Planner, which is part of the Microsoft Teams family. Most people are not familiar with Teams as a project management tool, but I'm sure a lot of you have used it for video conferencing in the current climate. I just wanted to highlight a couple of things before we start. This isn't a sales pitch, as Paul said. This is a knowledge sharing session based on the experience delivering remote programs and projects. Planner is not going to replace a corporate system, but could enhance or complement a system you're currently using. So the agenda for today. So we'll do some introductions of the presenters, explain about the challenges of remote project management, highlight some potential issues and value that Planner can bring, show you Microsoft Planner, explain the project we've based the example on, and then go through that example. Benefits of the tools, some useful links, and then finally, as Paul said, we'll do the Q&A session. So, hi, I'm Paul Whitcomb. I am an account and delivery manager for infrastructure and transport for Harmonic. I've been a project manager for over 13 years in aerospace, defence, transport and infrastructure. A little bit about Harmonic. We're a delivery partner, not a consultancy in most sectors. We're an SME delivering for some of the largest organisations in the UK. We help our customers deliver their required outcomes through integrating our teams into their organisation as part of their extended team. We also look to align ourselves with our customer through different commercial models, including risk, reward, fixed price, etc. I'm going to now hand over to Finley, who will explain a little bit more about CECA South West Foundation Group.
Thanks, Paul. So yeah, we are CECA South West Foundation Group. There's a picture of us there on screen, which hopefully you can all see. Our group has grown quite considerably. Taken last year at Big Bang Fair in Exeter. So we have Jack Walker, who is our chairman. He works for Kia. There's me, Finley Craig. I'm a sub-agent for Griffiths. I'm vice chair. And Mike Wilcox, who will speak to you later and has already been introduced, who's also a founding member and works for Dyer & Butler. So a brief overview of CECA South West Foundations Group. It's been around for about 2 years. I think Jack Walker originally started it up with the help of Paul Santa, that is. And we're a very diverse collection of young construction professionals that we aim to promote civil engineering and construction industry to future generations and sort of engage with companies and people who wish to attract young engineers and technicians into the industry. We do a lot of engagement with schools, etc., but recently we're trying to find new outlets of how to engage with the younger generation since COVID-19 hit, but that's a whole different challenge which we're enjoying. I'll just hand you back over to Paul, and yeah, I'll catch up with you soon.
Thanks, Finn. Okay, so I'm now going to talk about some of the challenges of remote project management. Understanding progress made at a point in time within a program. Ensuring teams are organised and delivering to the agreed plan. One of the biggest challenges is to keep everyone aligned, especially if they're dealing with multiple sites. I'd like to also dealing with the multiple sites remotely causes significant problems as well, understanding what things are going on in those programs. I'd like to now hand over to Finn, who will talk about potential issues and value of Planner.
Hi again, everyone. So I thought I'd go through some of the potential drawbacks with the Microsoft Teams Planner software, because I'd be lying to you if it was all good things. But the cons are nowhere near as the drawbacks nowhere near as much as the positives it can bring. But I will just go over them briefly. So some of the challenges might be faced is that employees might not know how to fully utilize the software straight away without any training. So time and money would probably have to be invested in rolling out training, but Microsoft actually offer a suite of training videos for their software online anyway. So I think you can actually pick up most of the tech and stuff you need to use it online for free. You may also be met with a little bit of resistance from employees who might not be as tech savvy or open to the new concept. But you've got to stress, the work that it's replacing, not so much a extra bit of work. It actually replaces a lot of things that we already do and makes them much more streamlined. You can have IT issues. We've been using Microsoft Teams since the beginning of the year, before, during COVID-19, when the stresses on the system has been ramped up massively for Microsoft Teams, and we've never had an issue with the network. The only issue I've ever experienced is when sort of broadband's down or something like that, which is an issue outside of Teams. False reporting. Now, false reporting already happens a lot, especially with programs, etc., percentages completed and delays. but you can combat a lot of this stuff with the upload of like photographic evidence when you're using the planner. Hopefully most of this will make sense. It will make sense when Mike's gone through his part of the presentation, where you will see how this works. There is a cost to the software as well, but it's so minimal. I think even for the base software, you get Microsoft Teams Planner with it. I think a lot of people don't even realize it's there. Okay, now we'll go on to some of the more positives. So some of the great things it can bring is that team staff can be aware of like the live completion status of any activities that are ongoing that have been captured on there. And if they aren't aware, or if you've got a new team member, you can use the Microsoft Planner to present a brief overview of where we're up to, and you can spend more time looking forward rather than trying to get people up to speed with recap, which sort of saves a lot of time in meetings. You can have activities linking back to a construction program with like a percentage complete output. There's time-saving benefit for that for sort of programming staff. They're not chasing you for weekly updates for the program anymore. They can just see it straight on their screen. And I think you can embed Microsoft projects with it as well, because it's part of the Microsoft Suite, which I think that's some of the more advanced capabilities of it, which we're not going to go through today, but that is one of the things that you can do with it, which is, I'm sure we will explore that later. There's a huge travel saving cost. You reduce like the ineffective use of time whilst you're driving to and from sites. There's a massive carbon emission reduction, which is massively important for reaching net zero carbon by 2050. You can see who's performing and completing the tasks and who isn't. So if you're a manager and you're having an employee that's struggling with their workload, you can see it as it happens, and you can offer them the right support they need before you have things that are going to arrive late, etc. So they don't impact you. You can offer the right support when it's needed, and not rely on them to sort of reach out to you. There's this clear and efficient task management, and it can be used through the mobile app, which is one of the most crucial features of this software, is that you can use it on the go. But I won't steal Mike's thunder, and Mike's going to show you a little demo and how the sort of mobile app and the software works and looks. I'll hand over to you, Mike. Thank you.
Cheers, Finley. So I'm now going to quickly go into basics of how MS Teams works. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have used it for your video conferencing and doing meetings, and you can't get to site, you can't go to offices. That is one of the big benefits to Teams, that you can do video, multiple people doing video conferencing, and it's a really easy way of doing it. You can also, there's parts of Teams that people don't know about, like the fact that you can have a built-in chat. So you can, if you have a question, whether it's the project manager has a question or somebody else higher up the chain has a question about the project, rather than ringing around people, spending half an hour trying to find the answer, you can just put it onto the Teams chat, and then everyone can answer. So you can have it it's the really easy way to have a discussion about what's going on site. And you've also then got that written down, so you can look back on it in future if you need to, from one way or another. Also, a lot of companies use Office. You have Office 365, so they've got Teams as part of Office 365, which means that you have all the other basic Office software like SharePoint, OneNote, your Word, your Excel, your PowerPoint. It also links to PDFs, so you can access all of your drawings, any document you need through Teams, which is something I use on my project a lot. The planner itself, which is what we're going to go into in a minute more accurately, is that you can allocate tasks to people. So it's kind of like project, but it's very much on the go sort of thing. It's not to use instead of Microsoft Project. You do use it alongside, and as Finley says, there is ways that you can embed a Microsoft Project file into MS Teams and MS Planner. So as soon as the guys on site, the foreman, the engineer, whoever's going to be the guys on site, they're going to be using the software, update a task, update a time frame saying, yeah, this has been completed, this has not been completed, this is reasons why, it automatically gets seen on your project for when you have your meetings. You can see there in the picture, can I just apologise for how blurry some of these pictures are? We had a few issues trying to get them. But they basically are going to show you what it looks like in MS Teams when you have a building project. So on this project, we thought as part of the scheme that as part of the thought process for this webinar is we need a live project to use, because Paul has done a webinar similar to this previously, just looking at the IT side of it, and it was very much a lot of detail and not a lot of people understood. So this is where the foundation group got involved. We've got the engineering side of it and the site-based knowledge and ability to put this into action for you guys that work on site, have worked on site in the past and are now at that level that you have multiple projects you are supervising and don't have the time to be looking at them all the time. So the project we chose is the project I'm working on, which is the A3095 improvement works up in Bracknell. It's the start of sort of a massive amount of work that Bracknell Forest Council are going to be doing on their major roads. This road kind of is one of the main link roads other than Bagshot Road to link the M4 and the M3. So when Bagshot Road gets a bit chocker, this road just gets used, and at the moment the junctions just aren't suitable. There's no signal junctions, anything. So what we're doing is our two junctions, Hanworth Junction and Golden Retriever Junction, we're going to widen the approaches to all lanes to add an extra lane into each junction. On Hanworth Junction, we're going to put a signal turn it into a signal junction, keep it as a roundabout, but add a throughabout to link the two main roads. So people going from the M4 can quite easily get to the M3 without having to go around roundabouts all the time. We're also alongside this having to widen the subway. So that's quite a separate task, separate little mini project as part of ours, which is what made us think this project is perfect for demonstrating MS Teams. The other junction is Golden Retriever Junction, and we're doing a signal junction. That's what the picture is showing, what the drawing is showing. So that's basically an outline as to what it's going to look like. It currently is just a normal roundabout with no traffic lights or any signals. So at the moment, when it comes to sort of 4 or 5 p.m, your rush hour, it gets a bit chocker. So I'm now going to go on to talking about the MS Planner desktop app. So this is just a quick, I will, once I've gone through the basics of them, show you our actual demo site that we produced and go into a bit more detail, because this is only showing a small amount of what it can do. So going from left to right, the picture right at the far left shows you what your tasks are. So this is your if going from looking at a project, an MS project, this is your sub tasks. And then these are your subtasks as part of each of your phase. So we have multiple phases based around our traffic management systems. So you can see there that you can quite easily split it up into your various highway series. You can also split it up into whatever way you want, which is suitable for your company, suitable for your project. Moving along to the big picture in the middle, that shows what each of these subtasks are. So you can put what bucket they are, which is basically your phase that Teams uses, whether it's in progress, whether it's not started, whether it's been completed, how important it is. So that's more of a whether it's on your critical path or not. You can give start dates, end dates. You can also give notes that says what you found, whether why it was delayed. So you can see that is got a little red highlight because it was delayed. And then you can then put in the notes, why was it delayed? What was the reason? You can also put in the notes anything saying what did you find? Did you find any other services? It didn't affect your didn't affect the overall job, didn't affect the time frame, but it hindered you slightly. That can then be put in there, so you then have that on there without chasing around after the job's finished or partway through when you're trying to claim back money. You can also see checklists which are specific to which you can put in, which show the specific tasks. So they're all CPs, are all our catch bits. So we can then see the guys in the office, our project manager, but as well as myself, who's the engineer, can see whereabouts are the guys, whereabouts are the operatives, exactly where are the gangs going to be, exactly where are they working, what do I need to make sure has been set out enough. So this team's aimed at project management, this webinar, but it also can be used across the board. It can be used at all levels, which is really beneficial. The top right picture shows the outputs you can get. So these outputs are more aimed at your progress meetings that you have internally, whether you have any with the client. A really easy way of showing what you've done. You can see that, I'm sure you can all agree that the outputs you get from teams in that way is really, really easy and simple to see. You can see you can see that because it's a bit blurry, the dark grey is things we've not started yet. In progress is blue. Red is the things that are delayed or late, and green, which is when we set up this, shows it's been completed. You can also see them in the buckets. So Finley also talked about that it's really accessible, so it can also be used on the go. So these two pictures show the mobile app. So the benefit we use for the mobile app massively is that we can access all our drawings. All our drawings are on SharePoint, which are embedded into Teams. So I can walk out on site with a tablet, with my phone, and have all our drawings rather than walking out with a load of drawings. And currently today the weather's horrendous, so my drawings won't last very long in the rain. Being able to just have it all on my phone and show the guys this is exactly where you're working on my phone or on a tablet or on some other device is really beneficial. So these two just show what you can do. The right hand column is very much similar. Right hand picture is on a very much similar sort of layout to your web app. But what I didn't really talk about on the web app, which is a lot more beneficial on the mobile app, is you can attach pictures. So your gangers or your foreman or your engineer or whoever's going out and going to be taking pictures throughout the job can then upload them to Teams onto your files into your subtasks, and then anybody who's got access to that Teams project can see what actually has been done, see the quality of it, just get a better understanding of the project rather than just looking at drawings. So it's beneficial for that, for the likes of your contracts manager and above that don't come to site all the time, don't see massive, like when they come to site they see massive changes, they get a bit lost and they're not getting day-to-day follow through. Being able to see it through here, you can do. So I'm just going to now show you a quick video which shows how what I've just explained on the mobile app can be really beneficial. So just opening MS Teams now. So as you can see, there's click on those and go subtasks. You can then find attachments, which are pictures. He's now just going to go to take a picture. So you don't need to take a picture previously. You can just take a picture through the app itself and it will save it to the file, which is really beneficial. You also there can see he's got drawings and you can link drawings to specific tasks. So say you have a drainage drawing for the entire project, you can link that drainage drawing for all the tasks. So if your ganger knows that he's going to be doing the drainage, he doesn't need to trawl through hundreds of drawings with what is used for drawing numbers, but not always used for drawing names and things, numbers. He can see exactly which drawing he's using. So I'm now going Paul's just going to share his screen and we're going to quickly go through the demo site, if that's possible, Paul. So this is, I apologize again for the quality of the actual pictures, but you can basically see that this is what our demo site looks like. This is our demo site for our entire phases of the job I'm working on. It's not been updated I think it's been updated a couple of weeks ago, so there's a couple of things that have changed. You can now see that all our different things, all our different areas, we split ours up into the various series. It's for highway works. So you can see that if he now clicks on the drainage series 500, which is the picture you saw in the on the PowerPoint, he can now say, so let's go and update this along with, we've now done filter drain pipeline 10 to 10.01. We've also done carrier drain 7 to, so there you go. I've now just updated the project. That now will, if you've embedded your MS project properly, as soon as you go to your MS project file, which we can't do because we've not done one for this demo, you can then, it will automatically update your project, so you don't need to spend time. The project managers, the planners, whoever you have that updates your project every so often, doesn't need to do. They can just look on it and be like, yes, that's fine. So that's basically MS Teams, MS Planner from a project point of view. It is straightforward to do. It doesn't take long to set up. You can now also see that on the charts, which is the outputs I was on about earlier, you can see what's doing it, but you can also see at the bottom, it's assigned people. So you can put people, whether it's your foreman, whether it's your gangers, you can assign them a task saying you're going to be doing this drainage, you're going to be doing this. So you can see which gang is actually doing what and where they are, where each gang is, rather than just being like, they're supposed to be there when I asked them this morning, but you don't know. So he's now, Paul's just clicked on himself. to see. You can now see all the jobs, all the subtasks that Paul's been assigned to for the entire phase of the job. He can then see himself, or your project manager can see specifically what a gang's doing, so it's a lot easier. I think that's about it now. So I'm going to now pass over to Paul, who's going to just talk about some benefits.
Thanks, Mike. Right. Let me just. Okay. Here, right. So I'm just now going to explain just about some of the key benefits. Previously, we explained about the value and the issues of Microsoft Planner. These are basically some of the key benefits we see through using this tool. So, like Finley said earlier, the cost of the software is quite small. It works out, there's multiple versions of it, from £3.80 to £15.10 per month per user, with the basic version of £3.80 including Planner. So if you've already got this, you've already got Planner. It also allows for less on-site presence, as we said, reducing the carbon footprint and cost by between 23,000 a year and 0.12 metric tons of carbon. This is basically based on reducing meetings from 4 meetings a month to 2 meetings a month on an average car of about 200-mile round trip. Planner is accessible anywhere through any smart mobile, but installing the Planner app, it is very simple to use. You shouldn't need much training, but what we have done is we've put a link which we'll put onto the site, which gives you access to the Microsoft training videos, as Finley said earlier. So the main benefit is really reducing the requirement for on-site presence, but still enabling the ability to understand how the project is progressing. It basically allows that interaction so that even if you're not on site, you're getting constant updates. People can fill in the chat bit with dates on when they've made comments. Like we said, you can add pictures, and it basically gives you that interaction with the teams on site for when you're not physically there. Okay, so here is the link. What I'll do is I will post that up now. So that's on the chat. So that's the training link for all Microsoft. It's small videos, and actually it talks through Planner and other parts on how to set it up. So thank you for listening to our presentation. I'd like to open the floor to any questions. Please add them to the chat and we'll answer them now. Okay, so first question, 1 second. Let me just add the questions here. So, sorry. Right, is the app available on Microsoft 365 basic subscription or only higher level of subscriptions? I'll take that if you want, guys. No, it's basically on the basic subscription. It's part of Microsoft Teams as an embedded piece of software, and it's accessible straight away. If you go into for the app for a phone, you'll need to ideally install Planner app rather than just the Microsoft Teams app. But if you install the Planner app, you should be able to access that. Okay, Ed Hartley, does the team think that this method can replace a formal contract program, or does it need to be used in conjunction with any more traditional linked Gantt charts? I'll let either Finn or Mike take that one.
I'll take that if you want. I think that currently it should be used in conjunction with a contract program. I don't think it will eliminate it entirely. I think purely for the complexity of some of the programs that are out there. I mean, for a simple program, it definitely could do the job of your program. But as soon as you start getting like I don't know, more than say 100 tasks split out in your program, then I think you would want to use a proper program and link it to the planner and let the planner feed into some of the aspects of the program, not necessarily all of them. But yeah, hopefully that answers your question, Ed. It may, the software may well become better in the future. I mean, I know my younger sister is, since COVID-19 hit, she's been doing all her schoolwork through Microsoft Teams. So a lot of the younger generation are already going to be sort of able to use Microsoft Teams Planner, etc., fluently. So as it develops, so will they, and will be left behind. But yeah, I think it will develop and become more useful, and probably take over the use for a construction program if it is used enough.
I think one of the things I like to add is if you've got Microsoft Project and you've got your programming project with the latest version within either 365 or the Premier version of Project, what you can do is you can actually click it so that it actually turns it into, like we said previously, into a planner site, and it means that when people update it, it does actually update the project plan through the Gantt charts and everything. The other thing you can do in the Teams in the planner site, as well as the charts, it's got a schedule as well, so you can actually see how those activities are split against a calendar. Hope that answers the question. Next question then. John Hunter, can collected information be captured for archive? For how long and how retrievable is it? That's a good question. I will take that one away. I think it is. I'm pretty certain it is archivable within the Microsoft tooling. I think what you can do is, if you link it to a Teams site, you can. If you link it to a Teams site, you can then close that Teams site down, and your IT team can retrieve the information from that. I think it's held indefinitely if you've got access to the servers, whether it's an internal server or external one. But I will ask that. I will find out about that question and come back to you. Okay. Dave Ellis, if a company already has an app that has similarities with the Teams app, but neither does all, does Teams allow for integration between apps, allowing them to be interlinked? Do you want me to take that one, guys? Yes, you can. Microsoft does have compatibility with lots of other apps within the tooling. It's more Microsoft Teams that has the link. There is certain elements of Planner that allows you to do it, but I think those elements need a slight level of coding involved. They are starting to develop things for Planner, but Microsoft definitely there is. If you go into your Microsoft Teams area, click on the plus in one of your Teams sites, and there's a whole load of applications that it lists, as well as Microsoft ones that you can link in, and potentially there is options there to have them interact with each other. Okay, next one. Ed Hartley, what does the team think about the balance of people visiting site for engagement and safety tours versus using software like this to manage from a distance? Do they think that this could make the industry lazy and have other detrimental impacts?
I think I'll do this one for a little bit. I think certainly from a safety tour point of view, no, you're still going to need those monthly, weekly, however your company does it, safety visits, general safety points of view, because you can't get all the information from pictures. Your site team aren't going to put pictures that aren't safe, that are people doing things that aren't safe. This is more of a way to keep track of a project. Yeah, you're still going to need your visits to site, whether you're management or safety. You're still going to need the visits to site. You're still not going to get a full picture of a job from using MS Teams. But as Paul said in his last slide about benefits, it's a way to cut down the amount of time you need to spend on site, the amount of visits you need to do to site. So I think it could make the industry lazy, but I also very much think that if it's done in the right way, no, it can enhance the trip and means that your contracts managers and above who come to site can spend not less time on site, but they don't need to spend as much time getting a hang of what's been going on. They can spend more time kind of sort out problems with the project manager, go through the issues they've come up with. I think that's about it, really. So have you guys got any other things to add?
No, I agree with that. No, thanks, Mike. Okay, next one. Why does it link to Microsoft Project? Yeah, so hopefully I've explained that there is Microsoft Project has a way of in the settings within Microsoft Project, you should be able to hit the planner section, and it will basically turn it into a planner board for you with the links back to your Microsoft Project plan. Okay, next one. Matt Devoto. Is the app available on all platforms, i.e. can it be used on Apple products? Yeah, so I've got an Apple phone. I use it intently on that planner, Microsoft Teams. Yeah, definitely on Android as well, even on tablets. So yeah, it's fully accessible. They've definitely thought about that. So Lee, does it allow API access? Yes, it does. So one of the things that we've done for a customer is actually allowed for APIs in the software to allow it to be populated from other pieces of internal software. So it is possible to do that. There is an API that you can use, and it's not only for Planner, but it's also for the full Microsoft suite, including Teams. Okay, Matt again, with Planner linked to your Microsoft project, can you add percentage complete for each task, or can you only show it complete or yet to be completed? Yeah, unfortunately, that is a downside of using it. It basically gives you that, it doesn't allow you to have that percentage completion within the Planner side. You still have to do that within Microsoft Project.
I'd just like to add something on there, for Matt. You can automate the percentage completion, but you can manually input that for certain subtasks within activities. So say there was a drainage run within a series of the highways. You could say you've done half of it. You could easily just put 50% in the comments, upload an image, and then it will give you a really clear indication when you open the task that it's at 50%. It won't auto-generate it back through Microsoft Project as 50% complete. It won't. Basically, it's either unstarted, started, or finished. It's nothing in between. But you can, through the planner, get visibility of percentage complete.
Brilliant, thanks, Phil. Okay, next question then. Nick Hanley, how steep is the learning curve to be able to use the software to its full potential? I'll pass it over to one of you two.
So myself personally, I knew Teams that you could do more than just video conferencing. I didn't really know how much more when I started this. We started this mini project back at the middle of May, and now I can quite happily go and update projects, set up projects, set up anything really. Most of the basics of that we've talked through today doesn't take long to learn. I think a lot of it is just repetition and actually what as soon as people start doing it on a daily basis, the guys on site, they'll quickly pick it up. It's kind of like any software really. The best way to learn it is to actually use it, and rather than just doing there is videos and things which will help you get the basics, but the best way to do it is just to actually use it on a daily basis. What about you, Finley?
Yeah, I agree. When I started using it, I felt a bit overwhelmed by the amount of stuff that you need to learn. But once you actually use it, it all sort of ties together very, very quickly and makes a lot of sense. I mean, this is over the course of a day of using it that I've learned from being overwhelmed by the amount of information that's shown when it was already set up to sort of understanding it almost fully by the end of the day. And the more you use it, the more little things you pick up. But it is, I mean, if you can use a computer, you can use it basically. I think it's no more complicated than sort of an Outlook calendar. It's really good.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think if you're used to using Outlook or Word or Excel, then it's pretty straightforward. You'd be able to pick up this quite easily.
Intuitive, that's the word.
Yes. Okay, next one. Dave, does the mobile app continue to work when out of signal or remote sites, then update later, or does it not function? I think it doesn't. I don't think it does. It needs that direct connection, unfortunately. That is one of the downsides to it. They haven't, I think, because it is the problem with that is if it was a single use application and didn't have collaboration so multiple people could access it, then I think you could. But because if multiple people are accessing it, it means that you're not getting the updated version there and then. Means if you make any changes, someone could have overwritten those changes while you're not connected. So I don't think that is the case. If you haven't got a connection, you won't be able to basically use the software.
You can. Sorry, Mike, go on.
I was just going to say that I think from a lot of the things you can do on the web app, pictures you can just take on your phone, and you don't have to take the picture and upload it straight away to MS Teams. You can just take the picture, keep it on your phone system, and then when you get signal or when you get back to the office, you can upload it that way. When it comes to doing updating the progress and things, that's going to be something that you would just need to either remember or find some other way of writing it down till you get back to the office. But I think it's not going to be too much of an issue unless you're nowhere on your work site. Not even the office has access to internet, which is highly unlikely in these times.
Yeah. Okay, next one then. Have you done any comparison between remote project management and actual on-site project management for quality control, production rates, and finishing quicker than the contract program? No, I work remotely on a lot of programs with the stuff that my company does for our customers. A lot of the work, especially over COVID, and even before that, we've pretty much been remote working for a number of years now. We find that yes, there is a slight not delay, but there's a slight difficulty with some remote stuff, but actually keeping yourself up to date, actually using these tool sets while you are remote does significantly help. We haven't done a comparison. Maybe that's something I'll look to do. Thank you for that. I'll make a note of that. Next one. Will this presentation be sent to the attendee? Yeah, so the recording and the slides will be sent out by email after the presentation. Okay, I've got 2 more questions. Is the app native? Is the app a native app, Android, Apple, or web app? So they developed all 3. So they've actually purposely built an Apple, an Android, and a web app. So it's accessible by all 3 through the relevant stores. And then last one, if you assign a task to a specific person, does the person receive a notification? Yes, they do. They receive notification through Planner and also through an Outlook email as well.
Yeah, and if they have it on the phone, they will get a notification ping up on the phone through Teams or Planner.
It will also tell you when it's late as well, which is good. Yeah,
so if you've got Planner installed, it will notify you on your phone through the Planner app.
Cool. Is that all the questions, Paul?
I believe so. I don't think there's.
Okay.
No, I don't think there's anything else.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming, everyone, and learning more about the tools available to streamline your remote project management skills. As you said earlier, the webinar has been recorded and will be available to everyone on the CECA website, and the web link will be distributed to all. So any more questions, send them our way or Paul Santa's way, and we'll try and get back to you. And I think Paul will get back to you with any questions we haven't been able to answer today. But yeah, thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.